In a grand chamber floating in the depths of space, the Galactic Council gathered. The room was filled with representatives from many different alien races, each with unique features and cultures. They came together to discuss a new threat, humanity. The council members believed that humans were just primitive beings with outdated technology. They laughed as they exchanged stories of human weaknesses, thinking the humans posed no real danger. "Look at their ships!" One member, a tall creature with shimmering scales, scoffed. "They are slow and clumsy. We can crush them easily." The others nodded, sharing similar thoughts. The council had powerful fleets and advanced technology, and they felt confident. They decided to send a massive fleet to Earth to show humans their power and dominance. Among the council members, a few voices of caution emerged. A short, wise-looking alien with big eyes said, "We must be careful. Humans have surprised us before." But the laughter continued. "They are just animals with machines," another council member replied. "They cannot challenge us." The wise alien sighed, knowing the danger of underestimating any opponent. On Earth, life went on as usual. However, behind the scenes, the leaders of various nations were aware of the Galactic Council's plans. Military experts and scientists worked tirelessly to improve their ships. They were determined to be ready for the coming conflict. In secret labs, engineers were building new weapons and upgrading old ships. They knew the Council would not take humans seriously, but they had a plan. In a small underground bunker, General Harris looked at a holographic map of the Earth's defenses. He gathered his best officers and said, "The Council thinks we are weak. They underestimate our strength. We need to show them that humans are not to be ignored." The officers nodded, inspired by the general's confidence. They worked day and night preparing for the worst. As the days passed, the Council's fleet traveled through space. Ships of all shapes and sizes filled the starry sky, ready for the mission. The council members felt proud, thinking they would easily crush the human resistance. They discussed their strategy, believing they could take Earth without breaking a sweat. However, a few members still felt uneasy. "What if they have advanced technology we don't know about?" asked one worried member. "They might surprise us." But the others dismissed these concerns. They believed their technology was superior and that humans were no match for them. Finally, the fleet arrived at the edge of the solar system. The council members gathered around a large screen to watch as they approached Earth. The planet looked beautiful, a blue and green jewel surrounded by the dark void of space. "Prepare to send a message to Earth," ordered the leader of the council. "Let them know we are coming." As the message was broadcast, humans on Earth received the warning. Panic spread among some leaders, but others felt a sense of determination. They knew the council saw them as weak, and that made them more determined to fight back. Back on the council ship, the members watched as Earth's defenses prepared for battle. "Look at their old ships," one member said, laughing. "They think they can fight us?" But the wise alien reminded them, "Do not underestimate them. They are clever and resourceful." The council fleet moved closer, confident they would crush the humans. They saw the small human ships ready for battle, but they laughed at their size. "These ships are nothing compared to our fleet," the leader said, full of pride. "We will show them who is in charge." Unbeknownst to the council, the humans had been planning their own surprise. They knew the council was coming and had developed new tactics and technologies. General Harris and his team had been working hard to ensure that Earth was ready for the fight of its life. As the council ships prepared for battle, a strange feeling began to fill the air. The council members were unaware of the storm that was about to hit them. They were too busy underestimating their enemy, believing they would easily win. Little did they know, the humans were about to show them just how wrong they were. And so the stage was set for an epic confrontation. The Galactic Council had made a critical mistake, and humanity was ready to rise to the challenge. As the Galactic Council fleet moved closer to Earth, the atmosphere on board was filled with excitement and confidence. The council members discussed their strategies, certain of their victory. They viewed Earth as an easy target and believed that the small human ships posed no real threat. The lead ship, a massive vessel known as the Majestic Star, was the pride of the fleet, equipped with advanced weapons and technology. Meanwhile, on Earth, General Harris and his team were ready. They had spent days preparing for the arrival of the Council fleet. After gathering all available human ships, they devised a plan to surprise the aliens. The general gathered his officers in a command center deep beneath the surface. Holographic displays illuminated the room, showing the Council fleet approaching. "We need to strike first," Harris said firmly. We can't let them take us by surprise. Let's show them we are not what they think." His officers nodded, determination shining in their eyes. As the council fleet entered the atmosphere, they spotted a single human ship in the distance. It was small and unassuming, a simple vessel compared to the massive alien ships. The council members laughed at the sight. "Look at that pathetic craft," one member jeered. "They must be desperate to send out such a weak ship." The majestic star sent out a communication taunting the human vessel. "You are outmatched! Surrender now and we may spare your lives." The council members waited for a response, eager to see the humans submit. But to their surprise, the human ship didn't back down. Instead, it engaged its cloaking technology, disappearing from the council's sensors. "Where did it go?" shouted one of the council members, suddenly alarmed. The crew began to panic as they searched their screens for any sign of the human ship. It was as if the humans had vanished into thin air. General Harris watched from his command center as his ship activated its stealth mode. "Now is our chance!" he shouted. "Let's show them what we can do." The crew of the human ship prepared their weapons, ready to take the fight to the council. The alien fleet, confused and anxious, began to lose its composure. Suddenly, the human ship reappeared, darting around the massive council vessels with surprising speed. It unleashed a volley of laser fire, targeting the weak spots on the majestic star and other ships. The council members were stunned. "How can they move so quickly?" one alien cried out. General Harris's team cheered as their surprise attack began to take effect. "Keep firing! Target their engines," he commanded. The human ship moved like a predator, dodging incoming fire and striking back with precision. The council ships were caught off guard, struggling to adjust to this unexpected challenge. Panic spread through the council fleet as they realized they had underestimated the humans. "Deploy fighters! We need to capture that ship!" the leader shouted. Smaller alien ships launched from the majestic star, racing toward the human vessel. But the human ship was too agile, weaving through the incoming attacks and firing back with deadly accuracy. The alien fighters tried to surround the human ship, but General Harris had anticipated their moves. "Now, engage the secondary weapons," he ordered. The human ship activated hidden weapons, firing at the alien fighters from unexpected angles. One by one, the alien ships began to explode in brilliant flashes of light. On the majestic star, the council members were in a state of disbelief. "We cannot let them defeat us. We are the Galactic Council," the leader shouted, but his words were filled with fear. The once confident members of the council were now filled with doubt, realizing that their superiority was slipping away. In the chaos of battle, the human ship displayed its advanced technology and clever tactics. The council's once formidable fleet was falling apart. General Harris and his crew fought bravely, using their knowledge of the alien ships against them. As the council struggled to regroup, the human ship executed a daring maneuver, coming face to face with the majestic star. "This is just the beginning," Harris announced over the ship's comm system, sending a message to the council fleet. "You underestimated us. Prepare for a fight!" The Galactic Council was about to learn a valuable lesson about the humans they had dismissed so easily. As the battle raged on, it became clear that this encounter would change everything. The Council's overconfidence had led them to a shocking realization. Humans were not as weak as they had believed. The battle in space raged on as the Galactic Council's fleet struggled against the unexpected skill of the human ship. Panic filled the air on the majestic star as council members watched their fighters being picked off one by one. The once confident leaders felt a chilling realization. They had underestimated their opponent. As the human ship darted and weaved through the chaos, General Harris felt a surge of adrenaline. "We're doing it! Keep pushing forward!" he shouted to his crew, who were focused and determined. They had not only surprised the council, but were now turning the tide of the battle. However, the council was not ready to give up. They ordered all remaining ships to focus their weapons on the human ship, desperate to bring it down. As laser beams lit up the darkness of space, a strange event began to unfold. One by one, council ships started to vanish from their screens. "Where are they going?" an officer shouted in disbelief. It was as if the ships were being swallowed by the void. The remaining council members stared at their monitors in shock. Their fleet was being picked apart, and they couldn't see who or what was causing it. General Harris noticed the strange phenomenon, too. "What is happening to them?" he wondered aloud. The human crew quickly ran diagnostics, trying to understand the sudden loss of their enemy ships. "We must be doing something right if they're disappearing," one crew member suggested. Harris nodded but felt a wave of concern wash over him. Meanwhile, aboard the Majestic Star, the Council's panic grew. They called for an emergency meeting to figure out what was happening. "We can't lose any more ships!" the leader exclaimed, trying to maintain control. The remaining council members were frantic, unable to comprehend why their fleet was fading away. As the council scrambled to understand the vanishing ships, the truth began to reveal itself. The human ship had been equipped with a new technology, one that allowed it to disable enemy vessels without firing a shot. The humans had placed hidden devices on the alien ships, causing their systems to malfunction and disappear from view. "This can't be happening!" cried one council member, gripping the arm of their chair in fear. "We are the Galactic Council! We are invincible!" But their bravado faded as another ship flickered and vanished, leaving behind only silence. The remaining ships began to lose confidence, and they scattered, trying to escape the unseen threat. General Harris and his crew watched with wide eyes as the Council's once mighty fleet descended into chaos. "They're breaking apart!" Harris shouted, excitement and disbelief mixing in his voice. "We have them on the run!" The human crew cheered, but the general quickly raised his hand to calm them. "We can't get too comfortable. They may still have tricks up their sleeves." He knew that the Council would not go down easily. In the midst of the turmoil, a message flickered onto the screen of the Majestic Star. It was a warning from the remaining Council leaders, "Humans, stop this madness! You do not know who you are dealing with!" The message was filled with desperation, and Harris felt a mixture of pride and anger. "They think they can intimidate us? We've come too far for that." The battle continued as more council ships vanished into the abyss, each disappearance a blow to the council's pride. It was a nightmare for the once dominant leaders, who could only watch in horror as their strength crumbled before their eyes. With their ships in disarray, the council decided to retreat. They had underestimated the humans, and now they were paying the price. "Fall back! We must regroup!" the leader shouted, trying to regain control of the situation. But it was too late. The remaining ships were already panicking and trying to escape. As the last of the Council's ships fled, General Harris felt a rush of triumph. "We did it!" he exclaimed, his crew cheering in victory. They had not only survived, but had proven that humans were not to be underestimated. The battle would echo through the stars, a tale of how the Galactic Council had underestimated humanity. The disappearance of their fleet marked a turning point, showing that Earth was no longer a helpless planet. It was now a force to be reckoned with, and the Council had much to learn about its new opponent. After the battle, the crew of the human ship celebrated their victory. They had fought bravely against the Galactic Council and had forced them to retreat. But General Harris knew that this was only the beginning. As they surveyed the aftermath, he felt a mix of pride and caution. The Council would not forget this defeat easily. "Gather everyone in the command center," Harris ordered. His voice was firm but calm. The crew quickly assembled, eager to hear the general's plan. They needed to understand what had just happened and prepare for what might come next. As the crew filed into the command center, Harris activated the main screen. Holographic images of the battlefield filled the room, showing the scattered debris of Council ships. "We won today, but we must not get complacent. The Council will regroup and come back with more power," he said, his gaze steady. One of the crew members, Lieutenant Kim, raised a hand. "General, what about the ships that disappeared? Where did they go?" Harris nodded, knowing this question needed to be answered. "Good point. We need to find out what happened to them. It's time we investigate." The crew began to scan the surrounding area for any signs of the vanished ships. Hours passed as they analyzed data, searching for clues. Suddenly, one of the technicians called out, "General, I think I found something." The room fell silent as everyone turned their attention to the screen. A series of blips appeared on the monitor, indicating unusual energy readings coming from a nearby asteroid belt. "These readings are unlike anything we've seen before," the technician explained. "It's as if the ships are still here but hidden somehow." Harris felt a surge of curiosity. "Prepare the ship for a closer investigation. We need to see what's happening in that asteroid field." The crew quickly set to work, their excitement palpable. As they entered the asteroid belt, the atmosphere shifted. The small human ship navigated carefully among the floating rocks, scanning for signs of the missing Council vessels. Harris remained focused, knowing that the unknown could be dangerous. Suddenly, the ship's sensors picked up a faint signal. "There! Right ahead!" Kim shouted, pointing at the screen. The crew watched as a small cluster of ships began to materialize. But these were not the same council ships they had fought. Instead, they were damaged and drifting, showing signs of distress. What happened to them? Harris wondered aloud. He ordered the ship to approach the cluster cautiously. As they got closer, the crew saw the insignias of the Galactic Council, but they were scratched and marred. The sight sent chills down their spines. Once they were close enough, the crew initiated a communication attempt. "This is the human ship Vanguard. We're here to help!" "What happened to you?" Harris called out. Silence filled the air as they waited for a response. Finally, a weak voice came through the static. "Help us. We were ambushed. Our systems failed." The voice was shaky, and Harris could hear the panic behind it. "Can you identify who attacked you?" he pressed. The voice paused, and then responded with fear. "It was not just the humans. Something else is out here. Something we didn't see coming." This revelation sent a shockwave through the crew. The Council had been defeated, but now it seemed there was a new threat. "We need to get these ships to safety," Harris decided. "We can't leave them here." As they began to assist the damaged vessels, another signal flashed on their screen. This time, it was a warning from an unknown source. "Leave this area now! You are in danger!" The message was urgent, and the crew felt a sense of dread settle over them. "What is going on?" Kim asked, her eyes wide. "We need to find out more!" Just then, a shadow moved in the darkness of the asteroid belt. The crew froze, heart rates quickening. They had a sense that they were being watched. Harris's instincts kicked in. "Prepare for possible combat. We need to be ready for anything." As the crew took their positions, they realized they had stumbled upon something much larger than themselves. The Galactic Council had been just the beginning. A shocking discovery lay ahead, and the fight for survival was far from over. The tension in the command center was thick as General Harris and his crew prepared for what lay ahead. They had uncovered a hidden danger lurking within the asteroid belt, and now they faced an unknown enemy. The warning message had sent chills down everyone's spine, and they knew they could not back down. As the crew worked to repair the damaged council ships, they kept a close eye on their sensors. The ominous shadow they had sensed earlier seemed to be moving closer. "General, we need to move these ships to safety," Lieutenant Kim urged, her fingers flying over the controls. "We're running out of time." Harris nodded. "Get them ready to leave the belt. We'll provide cover." The crew quickly coordinated with the damaged ships, preparing to lead them to a safe area beyond the asteroid field. But before they could act, alarms blared throughout the Vanguard. "Multiple energy signatures detected," shouted one of the technicians. The crew turned as a swarm of sleek, menacing ships emerged from the shadows of the asteroids. They were unlike anything the humans had seen before, fast, dark, and heavily armed. "What are those?" Kim gasped, her eyes wide with fear. "Looks like we've found our new enemy," Harris replied, gripping the armrests of his chair. "All hands, battle stations." The crew sprang into action, adrenaline pumping through their veins. As the enemy ships closed in, Harris shouted orders. "Defensive maneuvers! Protect the council ships!" The Vanguard swerved and twisted through the asteroid belt, dodging enemy fire. The crew worked in unison, firing back at their attackers. Lasers lit up the dark void of space as the battle erupted. Harris could see the council ships beginning to engage with the new threat, their once damaged systems coming back online in response to the crisis. "Keep an eye on the flanks," Harris called out, determination in his voice. The crew fought fiercely, inspired by the knowledge that they were not only defending themselves but also their newfound allies. "We cannot let these ships fall!" As the battle intensified, Harris noticed that the enemy ships were surprisingly coordinated. They moved as one, anticipating each other's actions. They're working together, he realized. "We need to disrupt their formation." With a swift decision, Harris ordered a bold maneuver. "Let's split up! We'll confuse them!" The crew quickly adjusted their tactics, creating chaos among the enemy ranks. The Vanguard split off in two directions, and the enemy ships hesitated, momentarily caught off guard. Harris seized the opportunity. "Now! Attack!" Lasers fired from the human ship, striking the nearest enemy vessels. The crew cheered as one ship exploded in a fiery display, but the enemy was relentless and the fight was far from over. "General! They're regrouping!" Kim shouted, panic creeping into her voice. "They're coming back at us with full force!" Harris felt the weight of the moment. "We have to protect the council ships. If they fall, we're done for." He could see the enemy closing in, their weapons primed for another assault. With quick thinking, he issued a desperate plan. "All fighters, form up. We'll create a wall between the enemy and the council ships." The crew quickly fell into formation, rallying around their leader's command. As the enemy ships bore down on them, the humans stood strong, ready for the final push. The vanguard and its allies became a shield, absorbing the enemy's fire. The crew fought with everything they had, fueled by the hope of victory. With every blast, the tide began to turn. Harris saw enemy ships falling one by one, their ranks starting to break. "Keep pushing!" he shouted, his voice rising above the chaos. Finally, in a moment of sheer determination, Harris spotted the flagship of the enemy fleet, a massive vessel that loomed over the battlefield. "That's their command ship! If we take it down, we can end this." The crew rallied behind their general, focusing their fire on the flagship. With a powerful volley, the vanguard struck the ship and it began to falter. The enemy fleet scattered in panic as their leader fell. With the flagship destroyed, the remaining enemy ships surrendered or fled into the darkness. Cheers erupted in the command center as the crew realized they had won the battle. General Harris took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the fight lift. They had not only defended themselves, but had also saved the council ships. Today was a victory for humanity. As they surveyed the battlefield, Harris knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy was vast and full of dangers, but humanity had proven its strength. They were ready for whatever challenges lay ahead, united and unyielding.